When everything stops glowing, except your surroundings, it's time to ask the question every survivor eventually faces. Is that light a blessing or a slow death sentence? Before we get started, check out the link in the description to download our ebook. Check out our merch, brand new Christmas stock. Use the discount code YouTube, link in the description. Now let's get back to the video. The post-apocalypse has given us many gifts. None of them are gifts. But among the wreckage, the darkness, and the general sense of existential dread, we've discovered something that glows, and we want to use it badly. Whether it's a patch of bioluminescent fungus that looks like nature's nightlight, radioactive slime that probably came from a military facility, or mystery goo that wasn't on any menu before society collapsed, glowing materials are everywhere, and they're tempting, really tempting. But before you grab that luminescent specimen with your bare hands like some kind of survivalist influencer, we need to talk about why that's a terrible idea. Let's set the scene. The sun hasn't come up in 3 weeks. Maybe it's clouds. Maybe it's ash. Maybe you made a really poor life decision, and now we're all living in perpetual twilight. The point is, you need light. And right now, the most convenient light source isn't your neighbor's old flashlight or a campfire. It's the mysterious stuff leaking from that cracked barrel in the basement. The survival paradox is real, folks. You need light to see, to eat, to not accidentally step on a rattlesnake and have 2 problems instead of 1. But not all light is created equal. Some light is just photons doing their job. Other light is actively plotting against your cellular structure while you sleep. This is where the problem becomes beautifully complicated. We live in a world where glowing things are everywhere, and they fall into roughly 3 categories. Things that glow because they're alive, things that glow because of chemistry, and things that glow because they're actively trying to rewrite your DNA. And somehow, as survivors, we've decided that acquiring at least 1 item from each category is a personality trait. The challenge is learning to tell the difference between useful glow and funeral glow, because one helps you see, and the other helps you glow in a coffin. Different vibes entirely. Okay, this is where I put on my lab coat made of desperation and explained the 3 main types of glow you're going to encounter in the post-apocalyptic wilderness. Think of this as the survival chemistry class nobody asked for, but everyone needs. First up, bioluminescence. This is nature's own light show. We're talking about living organisms, fungi, algae, bacteria that have learned to produce light through chemical reactions inside their cells. It's basically nature saying, you know what? We're good at chemistry too. A glowworm isn't radioactive. It's not going to kill you faster than starvation. It's just living its best life and happens to produce light as a side effect of existing. This is the good glow, the glow you want to befriend. Bioluminescence is cold light, meaning it doesn't produce heat, which is fantastic because you're not going to accidentally set your hand on fire when you pick it up. Second, phosphorescence. These are materials that absorb energy, usually from light or heat, and then release it slowly as they cool down. Old glow-in-the-dark paint, certain minerals, chemical compounds, these glowed before everything went dark, and they might still have some juice left. They're not living, they're not actively radioactive, they're just tired, very tired, but usable. If you charge them with a UV source, they'll glow. If you warm them up, they might glow. It's like the survival equivalent of finding an old battery that technically still works. Third, and this is where things get spicy, chemiluminescence. We're talking about chemical reactions that produce light. Some of these are harmless, some of these will make your hair fall out in interesting patterns. Chemiluminescent materials can be commercial, like those glow sticks you used to buy at concerts, or they can be completely unidentified substances that started glowing right after they absorbed something they shouldn't have. These are trickier. They're not alive, but they're definitely doing something on a molecular level, and that something might not have your best interests at heart. And then there's the category that overshadows everything else, radiation. Not technically glow in the chemical sense, but functionally, that's what it is. Radioactive materials emit particles or waves of energy as they decay. Some things glow because they're radioactive. Some things glow because radioactive particles have contaminated them. Some things are just hot, literally thermally hot, because their molecular structure is falling apart 1 atom at a time. Rad times, literally. Here's the thing about radiation that your 8th grade science teacher probably didn't emphasize enough. It's invisible. The glow is just bonus. The actual danger doesn't come with a light show. It comes with alpha particles, beta particles, gamma rays, and all the friends they brought. Most of them you can't see, smell, or taste, but your cells can feel them. Your cells feel them very, very clearly. So you've found something glowing. Now comes the crucial part, determining whether you should approach it like a friend or a former employer who wants to collect a debt. Let's talk about the tests. And by tests, I mean the low-tech survival methods that real people use when they don't have a Geiger counter. Because honestly, if you found a Geiger counter in the post-apocalypse, you'd probably use it as a paperweight. Test 1. The smell test. If it smells normal, like soil or plants, or nothing at all, you're probably dealing with something relatively safe. If it smells like burnt metal, ozone, chemicals, or that time my high school chemistry lab exploded, step back further. Now go back inside and reconsider your life choices. Test 2. The temperature test. Real living bioluminescence is going to be cool or room temperature. That's the deal. You touch it, and it feels like touching a mushroom or a piece of wet bark. If it's warm, if it radiates heat, if you feel a tingle in your fingertips after touching it through gloves, congratulations, you found something that's still actively decaying. Back away, backwards walk away. Test 3. The texture test. Living materials have structure. They feel like something. Bioluminescent fungi feel like fungi. Phosphorescent rocks feel like rocks. If something feels slimy in a way that suggests it's melting, if it feels wrong on a primordial level, if your survival instincts, the part of your brain that's been screaming since day one, is suddenly screaming louder, listen to your brain. Your brain is 100% right. Your hands just want adventure. Don't let your hands make decisions. Test 4. The common sense test. And this is the one most people fail. Ask yourself, does this make sense? Would a government facility or industrial site have stored or disposed of something that glows this brightly in a residential area? If the answer is yes, assume the worst. If the answer is no, still assume the worst, because we live in a world where people do stupid things with toxic materials. The golden rule here is this: if you have to convince yourself that something is safe, it's not safe. Safe things don't require a debate. Safe things just feel safe. And if you're reading this, nothing feels safe anymore. So use that feeling as your metric. One more thing, and this is important. Some glowing things will actively hide what they are. A radioactive object might be covered in regular dust. Contaminated water might look perfectly clear. This is why distance is your friend. If you can identify what something is from 5 feet away, you can decide about it from 5 feet away. And 5 feet away is better than 0 feet away. Now, let's talk about why we're even doing this. Why take the risk? Because sometimes, in the post-apocalypse, the risk is worth it. Use case 1. Light. This is the obvious one. You're in the dark. You need to see. Bioluminescent organisms, or well-preserved phosphorescent materials, can provide sustained low-level light. You can cultivate bioluminescent fungi in contained areas. You can store phosphorescent materials to charge them with any light source, and then use that accumulated glow to navigate. It's not bright, but it's something. And something is infinitely better than nothing. Use case 2, signaling. If you're trying to mark a safe zone, a pathway, or a location for other survivors, controlled bioluminescence or phosphorescence is your answer. You can lay out a path of glowing fungi or phosphorescent rocks. It's visible from distance. It doesn't require electricity. It just requires you to not accidentally make something that kills everyone who follows it. Use case 3, warmth. And this is where it gets tricky. Some chemiluminescent reactions produce heat. Some radioactive materials produce heat. If you can safely contain something that's producing heat, you can use that for survival purposes. But here's the catch. Safe containment in the post-apocalypse is hard. Really hard. Multiple layers of shielding, insulation, and maybe some lead if you got lucky. This is an advanced technique. Do not attempt this if you don't have proper containment systems. Actually, do not attempt this ever. Play it safe. Use case 4, chemical use. Some phosphorescent or chemiluminescent materials might be used for actual chemical purposes if you're building a shelter or creating equipment. But here again, we're talking about materials you've identified as safe and understood completely. If you don't know what it is, don't use it. All right, let's talk about what you might actually find out there and how to immediately know whether you should grab it. The blue goo. If you find something blue and glowing, look for the label first. If it says glow stick, great. If it says hazardous waste, less great. If there's no label and it's been sitting in a container for months, assume it's evolved into something sentient. Do not touch it. It looks like Gatorade. It is not Gatorade. Do not drink it. I shouldn't have to say this, but here we are. The humming rock. You find a rock that glows, and it's also making a noise, an audible noise. First, congratulations. You found something genuinely fascinating. Second, run. If something is making a noise while it glows, it means its atomic structure is actively falling apart, and it's vibrating while it does it. Step away, slowly. Don't run. Running causes vibrations, and we've established that vibrations are involved in your current problem. The too warm slime. You touch it, and it's warmer than your hand. That's a no. That's a hard no. That's a we're going to talk about this later, no. Back away. Decontaminate. Consider therapy. The fungal bloom. You find something that looks like a mushroom, and it's glowing. This is your best-case scenario. It's probably alive. It probably just wants to exist. You can possibly cultivate it, study it, and use it safely. This is the glow you can work with. Glorious, the weird crystal. You find something crystalline and glowing. It's beautiful. It's intriguing. It's probably also illegal to handle without a hazmat suit. Walk past it, pretend you didn't see it. Tell no one about it. The water that glows, never good, not once, not ever. Glowing water means something has decided to glow at a molecular level, and water is carrying that message throughout the ecosystem. Don't touch it, don't drink it, don't assume it will heal you. It will not heal you. Okay, we're at the part where I try to sound like someone who's read a manual. I haven't, but I understand the concepts. Rule 1. Distance. If something is glowing and you don't understand it, stay at least 6 feet away. If you do understand it, and it's radioactive or actively decaying, stay at least 10 feet away. If it's making any kind of noise, stay as far away as the geography allows. Distance reduces exposure. Distance is your friend. Distance is cheaper than medical treatment, which doesn't exist anymore. Rule 2. Containment. If you identify a usable glowing material, contain it immediately. Lead is best. Concrete is acceptable. A sealed metal box is functional. Whatever you use, it should have multiple layers. You're not trying to hide the material from someone's eyes. You're trying to contain the particles, radiation, or chemical emission. Think of it like putting on too many layers in winter, except the winter is death. Rule 3. Time limits. Even if something is contained, limit your exposure time. Don't sleep next to it. Don't work with it for hours. You wouldn't spend 8 hours a day in any other hazardous environment, so don't do it with glowing materials. Exposure limits exist for a reason. Rule 4. The golden rule: if it glows on its own, so should your caution. This is the survival mantra. Things that produce light on their own are either alive and doing their job, or they're actively decaying or reacting on a molecular level. Either way, respect the light. Respect the process. Give it space. Give it time. Most importantly, give it distance from your face. Rule 5. Trust your gut. And I mean the actual gut feeling, not your stomach digestion. If something feels wrong, it is wrong. If you're hesitant, be hesitant in a place far away from the thing. Your instincts have kept you alive this long. Don't override them because you found something cool. So here's what we've learned today. Not everything that glows is gold. Sometimes it's your DNA reacting to radiation. Sometimes it's a chemical reaction that was never meant to happen. Sometimes it's just a fungus that evolved a really good survival strategy, and you're going to be jealous of a mushroom. The post-apocalypse has given us access to glowing materials we'd never encounter in normal civilization, and we're going to use them. Humanity always does. We find something dangerous and we say, yeah, but what if we're careful? And then we're not careful. We're never careful. We're survivors, and survivors take risks. But today, I'm asking you to take this one risk carefully. Respect the glow, study it from a distance, understand what you're dealing with, use it only when necessary. And remember, the best survival strategy isn't grabbing every glowing thing you find, it's leaving some of them alone. Because in the end, the goal isn't to become the brightest thing in the dark. It's to stay alive while the world glows around you. Stay smart, stay distant, stay alive. And if you do glow, well, at least you'll be visible at night. Thanks for watching. See you next time.